Every year, thousands of students prepare for the UGC NET education exam. They buy the books, they download the syllabus, they make the notes, and they watch the lectures. And many of them work incredibly hard. Yet, when the results arrived, a large number will not qualify. Not because they lack ability, not because they lack commitment, but because they are making a mistake that almost nobody talks about. Many aspirants assume that every topic in the syllabus deserves equal attention. No, it doesn't. And if every topic receives the same intensity of preparation, enormous amount of time can disappear into areas that produce very little return. The uncomfortable truth is, many candidates do not struggle because they study very little. They struggle because they spend too much time to study the wrong things. The syllabus creates an illusion for them. When you first look at it, every unit appears equally important. Every topic occupies roughly the same amount of space on the page. The landscape looks flat, but it doesn't. Some concepts appear repeatedly in the examination cycle, and some form the foundations of the entire unit. Some consumes a large amount of preparation time while producing very little return. I call this mistake the syllabus illusion. Through the years of studying education and qualifying UGC NET twice and engaging deeply in the educational research, one lesson to me has become increasingly clear. Learning becomes dramatically easier when we stop treating knowledge as information and start treating it as a system of ideas. The difference between a candidate who qualifies and one who narrowly misses the cutoff is often not intelligence. It is allocation. One learner spends 20 hours mastering a high frequency concept cluster, while another spends 20 hours on a low yield area that may barely appear in the exam. Both the learners work hard, but only one invested their time wisely. The framework that helped me qualify the UGC NET education exam and transformed my preparation rests on four principles. Not shortcuts, not hacks, only principles. If you understand these four ideas, you will begin approaching preparation very differently. Let's start with the first principle. The first principle begins with a simple observation. Memorizing ideas that have not yet been grasped rarely works. Education psychology has repeatedly shown that familiarity can create an illusion of mastery. You recognize the terminology, you remember the pieces of the definitions, you feel confident, but confidence and mastery are not the same thing. One of the simplest technique I know is this. Read a concept and close the book. Now explain it to yourself. Explain it as though you are teaching to someone who is encountering it for the first time. If the explanation breaks down, you have discovered something very valuable, a gap. And gaps reveal exactly where deeper learning needs to happen. True retention begins with conceptual clarity, not memorization. A second insight emerges once we move beyond memorization. Knowledge doesn't exist in isolation. The syllabus may be divided into units, but ideas are not. Consider Vygotsky. His work appears in the discussion of learning theories like curriculum, assessment, teacher education, and classroom interaction. Experienced thinkers rarely organize knowledge as disconnected facts. They organize it as interconnected systems. The stronger these connections become, the easier it becomes to retrieve, compare, and apply ideas when faced with unfamiliar and difficult questions in the exam. I created Learn Beyond Walls around a simple core belief. Education is more than just a syllabus. The most valuable ideas in this discipline are the ones that transforms the way we think, teach, learn, and conduct research. This channel explores educational psychology, learning sciences, research methodologies, teacher education, and the deeper ideas that sit beneath the exams preparations, because examinations eventually ends, but ability to think will remain. At this point, many learners assume they are ready, but there is another challenge. Knowing a concept and knowing how an examination evaluates that concept are entirely different skills. And that brings us to our third principle. Many candidates use previous year question papers as answer banks. The highest performing candidates use them as windows into the examiner's thinking. Every question exists for a reason. Every distractor also exists for a reason. Every incorrect option is attempting to expose a misconception. Whenever you saw the previous year question, ask yourself, why would an examination in education ask this? What misunderstanding is being tested? What mistake the examiner is expecting a candidate should make? Once those questions become the part of your preparation process, patterns begin to emerge and preparation becomes dramatically more strategic. This realization eventually led me to develop a simple prioritization framework for my own preparation. Every topic was evaluated through three filters. One, frequency, which means how often this topic appears. Two, cognitive load, how deeply must the concept should be understood. 3. Effort ROI. How much return does the topic provide related to the time invested? Viewing the syllabus through these three filters changed everything about the way I prepared for the UGC NET education exam. My preparation became clearer, more intentional, and more precise. I stopped treating every topic equally and started separating signal from noise. The final principle is retrieval and review, because even the clearest ideas failed if they are not revisited. More than a century ago, Hermann Ebbinghaus demonstrated that forgetting begins almost immediately after learning. Many learners respond by rereading, highlighting, or underlining. Yet, decades of cognitive psychology research have repeatedly shown the true value of the revision practice. Close the book, attempt to reconstruct the ideas in your brain, force your mind to work, and the effort involved in this recall strengthens memory far more effectively than passive rote learning. Let's consider an example: Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. How will you learn this? If I were you, I would first grasp the core idea. Secondly, I would connect it to the scaffolding, learning theory, and classroom practice. Third, I would examine how previous year question papers evaluates the concept. And finally, I will revisit it through retrieval and review. And now, the concept is no longer an isolated definition. It becomes part of the broader intellectual framework. And this is exactly how durable learning is created. Let's bring everything together. Now you all know that to ace the upcoming UGC NET education exam, you have to focus on these key concepts. Number 1, develop conceptual clarity. Number 2, build knowledge networks. Number 3, think like the examiner. Number 4, practice retrieval and review. And last but not the least, allocate your efforts intelligently. The candidate who succeeds are not always the one who studies the most, but more often they are the ones who understand where their efforts matter most. Efforts alone, without planning, is a poor navigation system, and clarity is the compass. The central argument of this lecture is simple. Your success in the UGC NET education exam will not be determined by how many pages have you read. It will be determined by the quality of your thinking and your ability to make interconnections between concepts. Learning is not accumulation, learning is transformation. And this idea sits at the heart of Learn Beyond Walls. Not just clearing an exam, but understanding why education works the way it does. If this video changed how you think about preparation, not just for the exam, but for learning itself, there is more of this here. In the next video, we'll touch upon why most UGC NET aspirants get the concept of learning wrong before they even open up a book. Subscribe if you want to be there for it, because what I am building here is a unit-wise courses and structured thinking for people who want to go past this exam and learn and build real, in-depth subject expertise. If you are tired of collecting resources and ready to start building deep understanding and subject expertise, hit like and subscribe to Learn Beyond Walls. Every lecture in this series will be designed to help you think more clearly about education, learning, research, and preparation. Until then, keep learning beyond walls.